Is it being premature to say that you're not a part of the debate, or is it, or what? What's the situation?
Well, it's premature to say we're not, but
Yeah.
it's not unrealistic to not expect us. Meaning, in the last election cycle, the debates commission excluded us on some foolish grounds, and what we explained to the world was that it's very simple. Jamaica has a process for registering political parties, and the UIC was the first political party in Jamaica outside of the two colonial ones that makes the rules. We were the first ones to successfully comply with those rules and even help to shape some of the rules, because midway through the process they changed the rules on us and we had to comply with new adjustments. But we did it. And so once we have qualified to be Jamaica's official third registered party, there should be no reason why we're not included in the debates. But the debates commission, of course, just like the churches and all of those other groups, the media, they find reasons and basis for excluding us from things.
So, question then, how can then this be rectified then? Is it that people need to be putting pressure, or what? Is there any legal way?
Come on, there are always legal ways you can seek to challenge, but of course, do you have the funds and resources and time? And by the time you succeed at the legal challenge, the election done. But the people though can put pressure. If the Jamaican people would take our cue and get excited and engage about pushing for their rights, because it's not so much the UIC, it's their rights. They're being denied access to hear the views of a registered, not just another party, not a group. You have many groups that want to be involved in the political process, but they are not able to comply with the requirements to be registered. And we were the first, outside of the two colonial parties, to achieve that status and still being ignored. So people should say, listen, man, we want to hear what the UIC has to say on the same stage with the other two colonial parties. We want to see them side by side and hear their policies and proposals. But I can assure you that the PSOJ oligarchs who control the debates commission and who also controls the two parties and who also controls the media, they do not want the Jamaican people to hear what the UIC have to say. They're scared to death. For example, suppose the Jamaican people hear the truth that the land that we have in Jamaica should have been returned to them a long time ago.
Yes.
And it has not been returned to them. They're being forced to slave to buy back what is theirs by birthright. And then on top of that, being taxed a rent every year in property tax for the land that their ancestors died for. Them don't want the people to hear this, because they want to continue to control our lands and sell it to who they think they want to sell it to at whatever exorbitant prices they want to sell them at. They make themselves richer. So they don't want to hear the UIC policies. They want to keep the Jamaican people in the dark. And so far, they have succeeded in doing that for the last 80 years. And we have to stop it.
One of the things I said earlier was visibility through debates. And I use a comparison with Nick Clegg, the 2010 election in the UK. If Jamaica holds a televised leaders debate and Joseph Patterson is included alongside Holness and Golding, he could benefit from a surge in public recognition and credibility, much like Nick Clegg did. Is that fair?
Well, of course. I mean, the majority of the Jamaican people still continue to see traditional media as an authenticator, as something that says, yeah, man, I'm legit. Say they don't see you. And that is why they have kept us out of mainstream media. They have ensured that the Jamaican people don't. So every day, right? Every single day, every single solitary day on the news, you will see the two parties always on the news every day. No day is missed where you don't see those two parties on the news. And in the same breath, you don't see the UIC in the news. So people tend to think, oh, them not ready then, them not meaningful then, them not worthy of much then, because we're not seeing them in the traditional news space. And so the moment they fly the gate and give us the same access and stop this apartheid system, the people will then have a different impression and will be more inclined now to hear. But as I said before, the PSOJ oligarchs, they cannot afford for the Jamaican people to hear the UIC's policies. If they hear from the UIC policy, for example, that we are actually going to change the colonial system that they have been suffering under, and here is our brilliant plan to do so. Here is our better system of governance, and we explain how the system works, so they can see how they have been denied their rights. The people will turn. They don't want the people to turn. They want to continue to dominate our economy, control our economy, and rip off the Jamaican people.
It is interesting because, and it's so very obvious, it says participation in a national debate would allow UIC Patterson to highlight their distinct policies and appeal to voters dissatisfied with the status quo. Because as I said in my opening as well, and I always say this, and always say this all the while, we always talk about this, there was 37% turnout to vote of that 1.92 million, Joseph. That was 700,000. Therefore, there is 63%. Who are these 63%? These 63% want to hear something, but are you saying what we're picking up is that they're shut out? They get close on them.
Yeah, they're taking away the franchise from these people. They're disenfranchising them because, and as a matter of fact, Sidel, remember in the last local election, it's 70% that didn't vote. In the previous general, it's 63, and in the one before it was 52, and the one before it was 48. So every single major election cycle, the number of persons opting out is increasing, and to an alarming level, where almost two-thirds of your nation now is not involved. And watch this carefully. What this means is that the government of Jamaica is illegitimate. In fact, the current government, the oldest government, only received 21% of the total possible votes to form the government, and they had a sweeping majority with 21%, because the rest of Jamaicans didn't. And the opposition only received 16% of the total possible votes. So the other people in Jamaica are looking for something different, but they can't hear it because the PSOJ oligarchs, remember, they don't only control the debates commission, they also control funding to political parties. In the last election, they gave them over $350 million, the two parties. In this election, they're going to give about $500 million. So the PSOJ oligarchs have a lock on our government. It's a monopoly. They control, because it doesn't matter which of the two you vote for, they are still the controlling element. So they have a lock on our economy, a lock on our government, and by extension, they have a lock on the Jamaican people. They are dictating policies, they're dictating regulations, and they're using it to suppress the small man, suppress small businesses, and extract the wealth of Jamaica while keeping a low-wage environment that is stifling Jamaica and causing us to lose our best and brightest as they flee the country for better and greener pastures.
How can this be circumvented? Can it be circumvented?
Well, it can be. All we have to do, we the people, you included, all of us in the diaspora, all of us in Jamaica locally, come together and do what the UIC has always said to do. Own through your own party. The PSOJ own the other two. We the people must now join, volunteer, and donate to own the UIC. Vote in our election to select who is the president, who is vice president, to help shape policy. Be a part of the discussion. So you own a part of them. When the election time come now, you will have two options. The PSOJ's two parties, and the UIC, which is the People's Party, owned and funded by the people. Just like how the PSOJ own and fund them too there, so they can control the country, let we, the people, all of us, the 4 million Jamaicans abroad and the 3 million a yard, rise up and own the UIC and use that now to take back our country, dash with the colonial constitution, dash with the top-down economics, and bring in a bottom-up economics, a Afrocentric curriculum, restoration of the land to the people, and give us a bottom-up economy that will bring prosperity, not for a few, but for the broad majority.
UIC. Tell them they're gonna be stronger. Together we can make it right. Our purpose is a better Jamaica for you and I. Gonna be stronger together. Time we all just unify. Our purpose is a better Jamaica for you and I. It is a natural right for every human being to be free. Free, so free. So the government is there to protect you and me. You and me. UIC objective is to liberate the citizens from colonial bondage, them regulation, them taxation. Rob Jamaica, we independent.